Pauline Hanson says she has a plan to make Australia better if she became Prime Minister. Among her reforms, the One Nation leader would ban religious head coverings, have a royal commission into Islam, and make every couple planning to marry sign a pre-nuptial agreement. The game plan released as MPs return to Canberra today for the resumption of Parliament.
Pauline Hanson has outlined her blueprint for Australia, which would include forcing newlyweds to have prenuptial agreements and changes to the tax system. Quote, "Family law is high on my agenda. It needs court-approved premarital agreements on finance and parental issues," end quote, she told the Sunday Mail. The One Nation leader said under her vision for a better Australia, she was a Prime Minister, also cut the number of politicians, limit migration, introduce an Australian identity card, and axe the GST and consider a flat 2% tax rate. She would also set up a royal commission to Islam. Senator Hanson said one of her priorities was changing the family law system to ease the burden on the courts. She would force couples into prenuptial agreements outlining how they would deal with their children and assets if the relationship broke down. Quote, "Family law is high on my agenda. I just think it needs a complete overhaul," end quote, she told the newspaper. Quote, "It needs court-approved premarital agreements on finance and parental issues. So before someone goes into a relationship or a marriage, you must have a premarital agreement. It would be confidential and lodged with courts." Quote, "We've got to free up our court system. It's overloaded. A lot of judgments aren't being handed down for years," end quote. She said the public saw her as the woman next door rather than a career politician. Quote, "People see me as I could be their sister, their mother, their neighbour next door," end quote, Senator Hanson said. Quote, "They don't see me as a career politician. They see me running a small business, rearing kids by myself. They see this person. I've had knockdowns. I've been in prison. I've come out there and guess what? They haven't beaten me. I've got up again. They can throw everything at me and I'll still keep doing what I believe in." Quote, "I don't change my tune, whichever way the polls are going. If you look at what I said 20 years ago, it's exactly what I'm saying today. I'm a type of person who can make a decision. The past makes you more aware of what not to do in the future," end quote.
Thank you very much.
Returning to Canberra,
Thank you very much.
Pauline Hanson details an ambitious wish list for the new year. Will 2017 be the year of Pauline Hanson?
Well, I hope so. One Nation's on the radar.
The One Nation leader says under a country she led, things had changed. Foreign companies would be forced to sell back Australian assets, there'd be tax incentives to create jobs, and the GST would be replaced with a flat tax rate. In Pauline Hanson's Australia, there'd also be compulsory prenuptial agreements to ease pressure on the family court during divorces.
Whatever you have before you go into a relationship, that is yours.
The One Nation leader would also limit migration, ban religious face coverings, and set up a royal commission into Islam, while also introducing compulsory identity cards.
You prove who you are, you get a card, and then you use that card.
But will it ever happen? Senator Hanson's open to the prospect of being Prime Minister Hanson.
I haven't started a political party to sit on the backbenches forever and a day. I think there is in the place in the future for us, One Nation, on government benches.
I think it's unlikely that One Nation's going to form a government in Australia.
What do you say to members of the government who laugh at the prospect of you taking power?
The last laugh will be, on them.
There's one policy that won't have MPs laughing. Senator Hanson says she wants to cull the number of politicians. That's not something that MPs and senators will want to hear as they return to Canberra ahead of the first sitting week of 2017. After a scandal-ridden summer, the government's looking to the future, but already there's dissent. Moderate MPs are colluding for the coalition to abandon its policy of a same-sex marriage plebiscite in favour of a free vote.
I've got no doubt that all of these matters will be discussed in the party room, but I'm the Prime Minister. The government's position is that which we took to the election.
That position was a public vote next Saturday. Amelia Brace, 7 News.
So what do you guys think about Pauline Hanson and her proposed changes for Australia? Would you vote for her in the next election? Leave your comments below. Thanks for watching. Like this video and subscribe.